Okay, this is my video essay to Konami as to why they should hire me. And I am going to start with all of the reasons that have to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! I have tons of ideas for new archetypes for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, and a whole ton of ideas for... In fact, I had a concept for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that you could put on Steam for the sole purpose of introducing a whole ton of spell and trap cards that would essentially be support for different monsters in the Toon archetype. And after said game is up on Steam, you could easily create a special edition box or a new series of Legendary Duelist or a new Master Collection for the sole purpose of promoting these new cards for the Toon archetype. Now, I know that both Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist are both very prominent, relevant, and successful games. I know this because I have played both of them. But to anyone who's seen my designs for the anime game concept, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends, I'm pretty sure you would see some similarities to Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. But despite what you're thinking, they're actually very different concepts. I did not rip off Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Allow me to give you 3 different reasons as to why Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends and Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, which already exists, would both be completely different games. Reason number 1 would be that the card effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends would be identical to the card effects seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, and would take complete advantage of being a computer game to make that happen, and essentially replicate the effects seen in the anime, as opposed to using the cards and or card effects from the official game that exist in the real world. Reason 2. Similar to Legacy of the Duelist, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends would have a story mode and a custom deck mode, but it would also have an anti-mode, allowing players to win any card they like from opposing duelists and use them at later points in the story. Not to mention the fact that star chips would be involved in half of the story. Therefore, making Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends making the Duelist Kingdom experience all the more real, and making Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends the one Yu-Gi-Oh! Game to, well, the one that becomes the close, therefore making the Duelist Kingdom experience all the more real, and making Dark Duel Legends the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that came the closest to making the Duelist Kingdom experience realistic. Well, or in this case, being the game that came the closest, or in this case would come the closest to making making the Duelist Kingdom experience feel real, almost as if you're actually competing in the tournament held by Maximilian Pegasus. Reason number 3 is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Legends would have these very stylish Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi-like cutscenes that would definitely tell the story, but may or may not put a completely new and unique spin on it. Which, if it did, would essentially make it one of those anime games that's not, well, that is tied to the show that it's based off, but exists in its own separate continuity, allowing for sequels that may or may not have, put a unique spin on other stories from the show it's based off of in a different continuity. If given the chance, I would try to create a new version and or sequel to games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters or Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters. You know, the type of game that only appeared in the manga, and if it ever got a chance to shine outside of it, did not go as far as the trading card game did. In other words, the reason I just gave is that I'd be willing to take a crack at designing new versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-off games. The ones where it is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but it's not the card game. Games like Capsule Monsters, Monster Fighter, Dragon Cards, Monster World, the Shadow RPG from the end of the manga, and the first card game from Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. And as you can tell, I included games that Konami didn't even attempt to bring into the real world. The next reason that I intend to give is kind of an offshoot of the last reason I gave, and that's that I'm always trying to invent things, essentially game mechanics that help replicate things from the show that Konami couldn't make work in real life. And I know I can do this because I have. I actually did design a Yu-Gi-Oh! RPG campaign that I play every Sunday based around the Lost Memories saga. These are the cards that represent the 7 Millennium items. The ones that I made for a Yu-Gi-Oh! RPG campaign that I play every Sunday night. It's based off of the Lost Memories saga from Season 5. As you can see, I am capable of replicating game mechanics and putting them in the real world, because I just showed you that, well, a preview of the fact that I not only can do it, but I already did. I did it last year. And I can do it with other seasons and other games. Well, the next reason is that I could create a whole ton of really good what-if scenarios for Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball Z has a ton of them in their games, to the point where it's actually become a thing on YouTube that fans do. Konami wants a what-if story where Kaiba was the one to venture to Duelist Kingdom to win the title of King of Games. Done. They want a what-if story where Merrick is the one who wins the Battle City tournament. Done. A what-if story where Kaiba's suicide strategy backfires and Yugi ends up sending him falling to his death. Done. The next reason as to why Konami should hire me is that I am actually a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And therefore I know what kind of cards the fans would like to see come into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. For instance, any idea how many fans there are who would love to see Valen's armor monsters come into the trading card game? Or Joey's Aura Armor Trap card? Or Roll of Fate Magic card? There are tons of people who would love to see cards like this appear in the physical card game. And I'm one of them. I am a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. Konami, hire me because I am one of your fans and I know what they like. 'Cause I'm one of them. The last reason that has to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! As to why Konami should hire me is the fact that I am a game designer, and that's not limited to games based off of Yu-Gi-Oh! The next reason as to why Konami should hire me is because I can take a concept that normally wouldn't work and make that concept work. Another reason why they should hire me is because I'm a writer. I could easily create a game with a very good storyline. Another reason that Konami should hire me is the fact that I have access to a very secret personal project that I came up with all by myself, that they could easily get 12 different franchises out of. But it's a package deal. They're not going to be able to get access to this project without hiring me. The next reason as to why Konami should hire me is the fact that I'm really good at setting up relations between other companies. If Konami thought it would be in their best interest to make a game based off a high-budget Hollywood action movie, I could probably make that happen. The next reason as to why Konami should hire me is the fact that I copyrighted Clash of Pain. Now, I know there are certain characters that they will never have the rights to use, but I'm pretty sure that with my skills at setting up corporate relations, it may not even matter, 'cause Clash of Pain is the kind of fighting game that would be a huge success regardless of who makes it. The only thing is that they gotta hire me to get the rights, 'cause it's technically a package deal. Me in this game. It's not a threat, but they legally would not. Two more reasons as to why Konami should hire me are essentially the fact that I am very creative, and that I also give really great advice. And the last reason as to why Konami should hire me is because what I lack in certain areas of expertise, I make up for with other skills. I can't code to save my life, but I make up for that with creating game prototypes, characters, and being able to set up corporate relations. I can't draw to save my life, but if I design a character and then have somebody else draw it, that character is definitely going to look badass. So if you've seen any of the Yu-Gi-Oh games I designed, Clash of Pain and or potentially Horror Fighter, and want to see them become actual games, or see my Yu-Gi-Oh designs become a reality, then just like, comment, subscribe. A link to my Konami playlist will be in the description, and if anyone from Konami is actually watching, I am currently available. Feel free to contact me.